Peace and blessings, my lovely butterflies. This is the Awakened Butterfly, and I am back with a Butterfly Rant Wednesday episode today. And I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you guys could please give this video a like, I would really appreciate it. For any newcomers to the channel, welcome, and welcome to all of my day ones. If this is your first time coming across this channel, please stay for the entire video. And if you enjoy the content, please don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel. I hope everyone is taking care of themselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. And without further ado, guys, I'm going to get into this video. As you can tell by the title, it says hurt people hurt people. So with that being said, I will be talking a lot about actions and accountability in this video. And this is because I feel that many people are lacking accountability. You always see and hear a lot about narcissism these days. And this is because people are not taking responsibility for their own actions. As adults, we must understand that consistency is key, but it depends on what you're consistent in, because consistency of our actions creates habits, and those habits could be good or bad. So if there's someone that's conflicting pain, manipulation upon you, and they're gaslighting you, and they're bringing confusion into your life, it's probably because someone put that same pain into their life. Someone put that same pain and confusion into theirs. And being a genuine good person to someone, being loyal, caring, loving, and supportive, those are the type of people that are usually being mistreated. It's like the person that you pour all of your love into is the one that's treating you like an opposition. So it's very heartbreaking. They could be ingenuine, disloyal, smiling in your face, backstabbing you when you're not around. And like I said in my previous video, you may notice these people befriending people that has purposely betrayed you. The people that you love the most, when you go around them, they could be the one throwing shots. You're just wondering why overall. These are things are just to name a few, but you're just wondering, why are the people that you love the most treating you like crap? And I want you to stop wondering and beating yourself up trying to figure out why this person or these people are acting funny towards you. Because I've analyzed some things, and also from some research that I've done, I've come to realize that usually a result of a person's harsh behavior stems from someone doing it to them. And I'm not saying that this is always the case, but from my research and experience, usually people that they have the bad intentions, they have the bad attitudes, they usually have they're very high temperate people, and they really justify their actions, and they're their own lawyer. They defend themselves highly, and to the point where you begin to wonder if these people really feel like they're wrong for what they're doing. Well, usually what it is, it's them taking out on you what someone has done to them. And instead of these people standing up to their bully or fully allowing themselves to heal, they mistreat others, you know, as a result of. And usually the people that value and love them the most are the ones that catches this type of behavior. And it really bothers me because I mean, it really, really bothers me. And that's what, so, I feel a lot of anger from it. And that's why I want to talk about not letting your heart grow cold, as a result of being mistreated by pretty much a narcissist. Don't let the mistreatment of a narcissist, and let me just say this, the person doesn't have to be a full-blown narcissist. They could possess the strong trait of a narcissist, as such as not taking accountability. That is one of the most strongest, I guess. Well, I guess that is why people probably would call them a narcissist. I now that I think about it, I do agree, because that's one of the strongest traits of a narcissist, and this person stands on that trait fully because they use it to justify their actions. And when we go through traumas, they can either make us or break us. They can either make us a better person or they can change us for the worse. And this is why breaking cycles are very important, because they do create a generation of unhealed people. And, have you ever been around someone that they've been, they're so nice and they've always tried to be nice and understanding. And it's like you've seen them reach this breaking point, and the first thing they say is, you know what? I don't care anymore. I'm about to grow cold hearted. I'm about to grow cold. It's just like the Omarion song, Icebox. It explains how he was hurt by a woman that he loved, and as a result, he was growing cold from it. And that is a great example. And that's one of my favorite songs, by the way. So I just had to throw that in there. But I just want to say, guys, that I too have done the same. I remember a point in time, guys, where I used to say, you know what? Since people want to treat me like this, I'm about to turn mean. And it never worked. It never worked, because my heart wouldn't allow me to do something that I didn't genuinely feel. So I realized that if I was saying that I was about to turn myself into the same people that has hurt me, it made me realize that these people are getting a lot of validation for all of the wrong reasons. And a lot of those reasons can come from a person trying to gain love from them, a person trying to, that person's being so mean to them that they're trying to gain some type of understanding with them because they really care about them. And all in all, the sad thing, the truth about it is, it really doesn't have anything to do with you. And I know I'm talking in third person here. It's like I'm going back and forth, but I'm just speaking from both sides. I'm talking to you guys, and I'm just speaking from, in general. So I'm not meaning to confuse anybody with that, but I mean, this is just a rant. So, we're just talking about, sometimes when a person experiences pain, they will become the person who is mistreating them. You become that person, because, and this is from, I remember when I went through something, someone hurt me, and I used to say, I'm about to, be mean, because it seemed like everyone around them was yes people. Not that I wanted yes people around me, but it seems that everyone respected them. And this was the young, gullible, immature me, guys. That I am nowhere near that person now. This is how I used to think, because I used to get, I used to be in situations where people would take advantage of, take my kindness for weakness, and it would make me want to, well, I'm going to act like them, you know, give them either, give them a taste of their own medicine. I never wanted to be mean to people who wasn't mean to me, but I did kind of want to appear mean to them also. So I, just kind of so a person wouldn't try me, but I God didn't want me to do that, so I never, put those actions into play, and I'm glad I didn't. I kind of tried to be not towards the people who, didn't deserve it, but I kind of started to try to stand up a little more to the people that did. And I realized the way that I was doing it was making me even more angry, because I realized I was still trying to be in that person's life and trying to get them to act a certain way. Meaning they were not showing any signs of changing how they, treated me, but I was still trying to gain that respect when they were not really willing to reciprocate it. So that's what I was trying to say. I was being around people who were not willing to show me the same respect that I was showing them. Not realizing, so young and gullible at that time, just get away from these people, you don't have to associate. I know better now, and I thank God for that. But there's a lot of people who has not figured this out yet. And I'm still learning a lot of things as well. But I've learned enough to where in this, especially in this area, where I can help others become aware, of this type of situation. Figuring the bully, they are experiencing is being stemmed from being too weak or a pushover. This is how a bully, a narcissist, a person who takes no accountability, this is how they make people start to feel eventually. And see, this is why they have a lot of yes men around them. I never wanted yes men around me, because I wanted genuine people around me that would tell me the truth, that would tell me when I'm messing up, that would tell me when I'm wrong. I need that. I want people around me that's going to tell me the truth. I don't want anyone around me that is so caught up in gaining credibility for me, because though it doesn't gain respect. It's, I don't know why the need to please people who don't care about you is such a priority, and it makes these people not hold any type of accountability for their actions. They're like, well, I'm getting away with it. They're letting me do it. They're still showing me love. So apparently I'm not doing anything too wrong. And then at the end of the day, I'm able to be a jerk and get away with it. So I don't have any complaints. Why should they? Taking away accountability from the primary abuser takes place when that happens. When the primary abuser, and the reason why I say primary is because they do create a cycle of abusers over time. It's called coddling the narcissist. When you continuously show mad love, concern, and respect for someone who treats you terribly, you're coddling them, and you're disabling them to be truthful, honest, genuine, good-hearted people. I have done this, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have done this, because we wore our heart on our sleeves and we let our emotions take over. It was a mind over matter situation. Well, it was a situation should have been handled in a mind over matter order, but it wasn't. It was handled through emotion. And that's another thing. They, people who don't take accountability know who to treat terribly. They don't do it to everybody. It's only certain people. They do seek their abusers. They analyze their abusers. They know who they're going to be able to abuse before they even really get to know them like that. And like I said, it only creates more abusers that carries these narcissistic characteristics. And narcissists, I feel, are people who were once bullied and mistreated in their life, and they never spoke up for themselves. And they carried that with them, that anger, that resentment, that guilt they feel guilty because they knew that the love, and that's another thing, the love that a victim shows an abuser after so long, it's really not even real. It's trying to seek validation and trying to get that person to realize something that they already realize. They're just not willing to do that with you. And instead of becoming an influence victim of their abuser's behavior, instead, this is what they become. They become an influenced victim of their abuser's behavior, because they never healed from the situation, and they take that same energy into different relationships with people, not just romantic, guys. This is general. It's anybody. They can take that same pain into another relationship. And sometimes these people can get you so angry because they are good for creating cycles, because sometimes a person can get treated so bad it can turn them cold-hearted. And that's why I'm here today, to let you guys know that it's not going to benefit you from taking on their actions, because that's all it is. We've all been there. The best thing to do is just cut that person off, period. Don't change who you are. Don't change your good heart. Just pray that the Most High puts people in your life that appreciates you and doesn't tolerate you for their own selfish, reasons. Because that's another thing. That anger from the narcissist comes from them not being able to no longer get away with what they want to get away with, not being able to have their cake and eat it too. And I want to say the person that doesn't take any accountability, but since it's one of the strongest traits of a narcissist, I'm just going to say narcissist. But this video isn't strictly about narcissists. It's about people who are hurt and they don't heal. And the no accountability is just a strong trait of a narcissist. And this is really how narcissists are created, honestly. I have been just even, things in my life, and even things that I've seen and experienced in other people's life, especially when I see good people dealing with crappy people. And yes, there are crappy people out there. There are mean people out there deliberately that they don't care about anyone's feelings but their own. And these type of people are very, very defensive over themselves and their feelings. And this is because they're afraid to feel that same pain again that they've conflicted upon other people. You cannot, I don't care how much you love someone, Don't let anyone mistreat you for any reason. The first time should be the last time. And I'm not saying don't be a forgiving person or anything like that. Forgive your enemies, but you don't have to tolerate the abuse. I can't stress it enough. You can be so hurt by something that someone does and you decide, okay, I'm not going to tolerate this. There are some people that are attached to these narcissists that will defend them when they've experienced this person's action themselves and try and convince you that you don't have a reason to feel the way that you do. That's also irritating because that's all I'm seeing now is people justifying their actions. And majority of the people that are doing it, that are stressing it so hard, their actions are trash. They're treating people bad. They're being disrespectful. They may say one thing, but their actions are totally different, and they're trying to justify it. When you know as well as they do that they're wrong. There's no justification for wicked and evil acts. None at all. The Most High is also against people who don't take accountability for their actions. It's always good that, and see, no one's perfect. So, just what's wrong with a person saying that they're sorry and really meaning it and, not doing it again because they really genuinely feel bad about it. I really have not ran into a person like that in a while. Everyone's justifying their actions. And I'm not talking about the good ones. Okay? I'm not. I'm just going to be honest on this rant. I don't want to sugarcoat anything for my butterflies. I just want to, tell you guys the truth. And it's probably not something that you don't already know. The Bible talks about accountability, and I saw in an article called connectusfund.org. I read an article on that website that said that that the Bible mentions the word account 68 times. So this means the Most High is very big on responsibility. Romans chapter 14 verse 2 says, so then each of us will give an account of himself to God. James chapter 5 verse 16 says, therefore confess your sins to one another and pray for one another, that you may be healed. The prayer of a righteous person has great power as it is working. And that's crazy because I just felt something when I read that. I did, because I've been talking a lot about taking responsibility, healing. Not, when you don't heal, you carry pain with you and you bring it into other people's lives as well. Because when you don't heal, there's something negative that's going to carry. There's some type of negative action that's going to carry within the unhealed area. If a person probably has not healed from something with their parents, they could possibly be hard on their children. The same way their parents were hard on them. Or they could bring it to their relationships and be hard on their partners. It does happen. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 11 says, therefore encourage one another and build one another up just as you are doing. Guys, when I just read that verse, I I just heard the word understanding. And I know that has to be the Most High talking to me, giving me more clarification on this verse. What I got from this verse is it's good to understand, to have understanding of people's actions, no matter good or bad, because it will help you get down to the core of what's going on with that person, what area needs to heal with them. It also tells you a lot about yourself. It gives you a sense of understanding of everything, good and bad. Now, understanding a person does not mean taking their mistreatment, taking their abuse. That's not what that means. But see, when you have understanding, you're less angry. I just saw that, less angry. When you have, and I've realized that I feel like the Most High blessed me. I've always had understanding. That's why I've always tolerated it. But he showed me how to turn that understanding into wisdom. Think, step outside the box and be the person on the outside looking in, instead of feeling like you're inside the box and feeling like the victim, because this is really not about you. This is really about that person and something they've endured in their life that they haven't healed from. And now they're bringing it to you. Now, the problem is when you try and talk to that person about the situation, and deep down, they know, because they've carried it for such a long time. And they've been around a lot of yes people that has never brought it to the light. So when you do, you're going to be attacked by a person that's very defensive, very hurt, unhealed, and somewhat confused, because they want respect. They really want love and respect from people, but they're confused as how to give it. And the crazy thing about it is they really don't want to give it, but they want to receive it, because they've become accustomed to being an abuser, and they've normalized it, and other people have normalized it by not holding them accountable. There's family members that knows that there's something up with this other family member that needs to be addressed. A family meeting needs to be called. Something needs to be addressed, but it's not, because so-and-so has a temper. So-and-so will flip out. Well, you know what happened the last time we tried to talk to them about this situation? Things like that. Sometimes it has to be said. And that's where faith in knowing that the Most High will protect you. It's not about, jumping up in someone's face, pointing the finger. It's not about that. It's about even bringing the subject up and offering to talk about it with them and be there for them in whatever area that they need help in. Even coming off like that is offensive to a very defensive person. A person who's so used to acting away and getting away with it, and now they feel that you're trying to pull them out of their comfort zone, but you're really trying to help them. And I said these people feel somewhat confused. In 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33 says, "For God is not a God of confusion, but of peace, as in all the churches of the saints." God is not going to confuse you about how you should treat someone. You should treat someone with love and respect, especially if that's what they've earned. If they haven't earned it, then you dismiss yourself out of their lives. Just as simple as that. 1 John chapter 2, verse 2 says, "He is the propitiation." I hope I said that right. Propitiation propitiation. I'm sorry, I hope I said that right, guys. For our sins, and not for ours only, but also for the sins of the whole world. First Timothy chapter 3, verse 4. I'm sorry, can you guys still hear me? Okay. Chapter 3, verse 4, 1 Timothy says, he must manage his own household well, with all dignity, keeping his children submissive. See, these things stem from the household. As I was saying, it's someone who is unhealed, and majority, if not all the time, it stems from childhood. It stems from the parents, who also went through the same thing with their parents, and they went through with their parents. It's a generational curse. It's a cycle that has to be broken. You have to keep your children submissive. You have to keep them in a situation where they know to respect grown-ups. They know to respect, to fear and respect their parents. They know to, number one, fear and respect the Lord. And when I say the Lord, I mean Yahweh, the Alpha and the Omega, the number one creator, the only creator. And I think that's what's wrong. A lot of our children are not afraid anymore. They don't hold any type of fear towards anything. And, you see a lot of children being disrespectful to their parents. You see it, you also see a lot of parents being disrespectful to their children. And all of these things are stemming from unhealed traumas. And sometimes when listening, you will hear these traumas come up. You will probably hear when I was younger, or when I was little, or, a while ago, or something like that. It's something, and you may hear them bring up something. And you will know that's where a lot of these traumas come from. People believing that they should abuse their children because that's how they were disciplined when they were younger. It stems a cycle of abuse over generations. Now this child's going to grow up thinking that's how they should chastise their child, and so forth and so on. It also turns people into domestic abusers, not just within the household, but within their relationships. Feel that they can mentally, physically, verbally, and emotionally abuse others, and it's okay because they've been desensitized and normalized to that type of abuse. But let's just be honest. Don't they know that it's wrong after a certain amount of time? You would think that, right? Of course they do. Of course they know it's wrong. How could they not? They still remember the pain and trauma that they felt from it. How could they not understand the pain and trauma that they conflicted upon someone else? How could you not? It just makes you wonder sometimes. And then when there's no accountability, not only does it further mess them up, but it really traumatizes and messes up the people that they do it to. Because when you think about it, if someone's not holding accountability for something, they're going to have their episode and go back to like nothing's happened. But then here you are over here, traumatized, hurt, from the situation, no matter what it was. They could have said something mean, It doesn't always have to be physical abuse. It can be verbal, emotional. And instead of them apologizing, and you probably won't even get a fake apology out of these people. And if you do, they're going to go back on what they said. It's going to happen again. Because it takes a lot of fasting and prayer and hard work, willpower to break bad habits. Habits are formed over strong consistency. And just think about the defensive mechanisms that comes with people who don't take accountability. So if they put that much strong defensiveness into their actions, it lets you know that they really, all in all, don't feel bad about what they're doing. You have to come to that realization. I don't care how much you love them or how much you think they love you. Actions speak louder than words. And that's I watched a video on YouTube early this morning, and actions speak louder than words was one of the things that I heard in the video. And I actually heard the same thing yesterday. So it's all for a reason. That means it's really meant for us to talk about this today. But like I said, don't let it turn you into a cold person. Don't let it make you turn into them, because the Lord will handle your enemies for you. You don't have to do anything to get revenge. You don't have to change who you are. All you have to do is pray about the situation. And guess what? God sees everything anyway. But prayer lets him know that you acknowledge that he's here. And you know what? That's what it is. Of course he sees everything, but the prayer shows the faith and acknowledgement of his true presence. It's you taking, when you pray, it's you taking accountability for not only what's going on around you, and that means you're handling it appropriately because you're giving it to your Father. You're giving it to God. It also proves that you know that he exists, and your faith is strong and growing stronger. And it also gives you a peaceful and sound mind and heart. Now, with this being said, you don't have a grudge against that person. You're not holding any pain or trauma because you pray for healing from God. You're not wishing bad upon them. You're not mad. Because see, on a spiritual sense, and guys, I loved, you guys know I'm a spiritual person as far as, I always talk about the angelic and demonic room. I always like talking about behind the scenes. And on a spiritual, is in reference to the demonic and the angelic realm when talking about this situation. You do have unknown forces that are working through these people. Okay, so just know that these are some of the same people that are being used to conflict pain and harassment upon others. So when you aren't holding any traumas from this, when you're not holding any resentment towards this person or any grudges, and you pray and you let that go, you've broken the cycle. You took accountability. And I just want everyone to know that I know it's not always easy to turn the other cheek. I know it's not always easy to be silent about certain things. But I realize that we have to know when to speak, when not to speak, when to react, when not to react. And when we do, we have to know how. Because certain things that we do and say can cause a cycle of pain within someone else. And it also can cause a lot of shame, guilt, and resentment within ourselves. So it's, that'll be two things that carries within one person. And that's really something strong to think about, guys. I think that it's very important for parents to discipline their children, not causing any pain or harm against their, but keeping them, forming a strong habit to demonstrate positive behavior in front of our children, so they will know. We have to give our children the blueprint. If we want them to act right, we have to demonstrate good behavior in front of them. We can't say that we're grown-ups and we do what we want and expect them to act the way that they're supposed to. Notice I didn't say the way that we want them to. I said the way that they're supposed to, because if you have a lot of, if there's some parents that are still unhealed and going through things, they may expect something different, from their child. You just never know. But if you just genuinely want your children, and I'm not saying that kids are not going to act up and get into things, but I mean being an overall respectful child, having fear of their parents, the fear of the Lord, and having morals and values and beliefs and respecting other grown-ups. And taking accountability for their actions, knowing that it is important to have respect for yourself and others. Deuteronomy chapter 1 verse 39 says, and as for your little ones who you said would become a prey, and your children who today have no knowledge of good or evil, they shall go in there, and to them I will give it, and they shall possess it. So we get our children in the habit of having the fear of the Lord, and we have Bible study with them and get them at a young age. They will have to have the fear of the Lord, and they will possess the knowledge of good and evil. They will have that discernment. They won't be so easy to fall into things. As what they say now, each generation grows weaker and wiser, and that's because the generations are filled with unhealed past traumas. This is why. If you guys hear the chihuahuas upstairs, I apologize. I'm going to get some water, guys. There's about 6 of them. But anyway, guys, I hope this video helped someone, because just me talking to you guys, I feel like it's just something. I feel like I've let a lot off of my chest just by talking to you guys. Because it's just like the world is constantly trying to shh people, like be quiet, don't say anything. And there's even people threatening people who strive for the truth. That's very selfish, and it's very evil. It's just like if you see someone harming someone and you try to stand up and you get, shamed and, mistreated for it because you're speaking up. And then you have people on the side saying, well, maybe you should have just kept your mouth shut and minded your business. When you're seeing someone getting brutally beaten and, you try and do something about it, whether you approach the abuser yourself by saying, at least saying, hey, what are you doing? Or that could be dangerous, or you just stood to the side and called the cops on this person. It's like now when you do stuff like that, you're considered a snitch, you're considered a bad person, and you are now the prey. And guys, we have to, it starts with us. We have to break these generations. We have to. It starts with us. It starts with our children, and it starts with theirs. And you also know this stuff is spiritual, as with Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. There are a lot of spiritual forces working through these people that are indoctrinating them, which is allowing them to not approach the problem within. I think it's a great fear there mixed with a little selfishness as well. Because I feel like, especially as adults, we have to take accountability for our actions. We have children watching us, they look up to us, and they are our future. And that's what we have to keep in mind. I really do love you guys, and I really do appreciate all the love and support that you guys give me. I do have a lot of great content coming for you guys. I have a special video for you guys tomorrow. I really hope you like it. And until the next video, stay prayed up, guys. Try to continue taking care of yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. And until the next video, peace and blessings. I love you guys. Bye.